Louisiana soccer legend and Rock Solid Sports founder, CEO, etc., Shelley McMillan. Are you in Lyon, France, as we speak? Are you still? Do we still have soccer boots on the ground?
I am actually have made my way to Paris. So yes, I am still on Europe land.
Europe land. That's what Aaron calls it.
I can tell by your voice you spent Sunday hollering.
You are absolutely right.
You were at the game. How exciting was it, Shelley?
Oh my gosh, it was the most incredible thing that I've seen. I mean, it just and it goes so far beyond soccer. You know, just having 60,000 people in a stadium cheering for something that gives them hope. You know, and it was unreal to be a part of it. I still feel today like we've opened all the presents at Christmas, and now we're just kind of in the lull because it still seems so surreal.
The final game yesterday between the USA and Netherlands played in Lyon, France. 60,000 people that you mentioned. Break down the what percentage of the crowd do you think was backing the USA? What percentage of the crowd was backing the Netherlands?
I'm going to say there. So the attendance yesterday was 58,000 people, and I would say that 48,000 of them were backing the Americans. Wow. I mean, the Americans have taken over France throughout this World Cup. I mean, they're everywhere. Like in Lyon, we saw way more American people than we did French people.
How many actual Americans did you run into there at the stadium? Lots or just a few?
I would say in Lyon, thousands.
How long ago did you plan to go? And tell me about your arranging the tickets and the trip and all that good stuff.
So some friends of mine, it's always been a bucket list of mine since I was a little girl, and it just as my coaching career.
Oh no! Did we die?
Yeah, it looks like we got disconnected.
Try her again real quick, because I want to hear the story.
Do we have to turn off our mics? Do you have the number in your head? Okay, turn off the mics. Hold on. Aaron's going to say her number. We apologize.
Okay, he got the number. We're going to hook up with her. She's moved from Lyon to Paris, where I guess she's going to fly out of. Is it Charles de Gaulle Airport?
There's de Gaulle and there's Orly.
Is it the Charles de Gaulle the biggie?
They're both pretty. Okay. Paris is a pretty big place. So
Shelley, you're saying it was a bucket list of yours since you were a child, and so you made it happen this year?
Yeah, the more my coaching career gained ground, the more it became, something that I had to do. See a World Cup in either Europe or South America. And so back in November, some close friends of mine and we bought these hospitality tickets. So we got to see both semis and the finals, midfield seats. And we had this hospitality area that we got to hang out in before the games, after the games. And so in there, you really meet people from all walks of life. And it's amazing how you get in an environment like that and you just realize that humanity's still alive. It was just really cool. I got to meet Mia Hamm yesterday. And, just totally dream experience.
Do you have a relationship with any of the players? I know you're so well known in the soccer world. I think you probably know one or two of these players, right?
No, I actually don't. This is so far behind my time, and just a new era coming in there from the days when, we had Michelle Eckerstall and Julie Foudy and Brandy Chastain and those women. And it was so cool because so many of those women were here in France supporting today's young ladies.
Aaron and I were talking. Aaron and I were talking during a couple of segments in the last hour. Why do you think it is that the women's soccer program in the United States is able to produce a world champion, a World Cup champion, and the men seem to be struggling?
It's a really great question. I mean, I have my own theory, and I think that on the men's side, kids growing up in the United States, I think sometimes they're a little overcoached, or we don't hone in the talent of letting players be free enough to create. And while in the late 90s, when I got all my national licenses, I got to be under people like the great Anson Dorrance at the University of North Carolina, who coached the women's team back in the day. He's won like 25 college national championships. And you get to hear him say, talk about players like Mia Hamm and say, look, I never told them to pass the ball, players like that. I allowed them to create. I allowed them to be creative. And because we're in a later stage of starting, I mean, the women didn't start the World Cup until 1999. Therefore, you don't have a lot of parents during that time frame that I think ruin their kids or overcoach them.
Shelley, you're headed back home. When are you going to spend a couple of days there, and are you headed back to the U.S. of A.?
I am. I'm headed back on Thursday. We're going to enjoy a couple of days in Paris and just kind of hang out to really get the overall after effects of it. We got in enough time to get a couple of days in, hang out with them, not just the Americans. I mean, we've hung out with the Americans, the Dutch, the English, the French. I mean, it's just been incredible, and it makes you realize, again, how much sports give us hope. We all see ourselves in some kind of underdog story, and this just gives us hope. It brings people of different cultures and races and socioeconomic status. I mean, all of that, and it just brings you all to an equal place of going, wow, this is something, if these guys can go out and these guys can do this and they can fight and they can be under the pressure that they can, then we as fans, regardless of where we're from, can learn to love each other. And it just, like, I'm going to tell you, 2 days before the World Cup, I started thinking, gosh, this is kind of a scary time, because disasters tend to happen at events like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to tell you, being there in the stadium yesterday from start to finish, every human being in there was just good people wanting to come together, watch some amazing football, and, let the chips fall where they may.